I got this one. Or at least the beginning.
Okay, go ahead.
Hey, we're back again, and we are doing Flash Season 3, Episode 20. Titled, I Know Who You Are.
You said you were going to do it.
And I just want to say, I'm not happy. Anyone who actually has watched our reviews knows that I don't like this whole timeline crap that they're doing on The Flash. I've accepted it on Legends, but Flash is screwing it up, and I said that if this is Barry Allen from the future, I'm done. Because there is no universe, multiverse, whatever the hell you want to call it, that Barry Allen would murder Iris West. However, Jadon has since then talked me down from the ledge and said we're at least going to give it one more episode. And I said, okay, fine. So here's our review of this week's Flash. And I will try not to. As you can see, the hat is back so that I don't angrily hair flip the entire time.
Okay.
That being said, I really enjoyed Caitlin this episode, Killer Frost, sliding around on her ice slides like,
Iceman.
Is that his name in Incredibles?
No.
Because that's what I think of Incredibles.
Because it's from X-Men.
But what's his name? Oh, Iceman, yeah, but what's his name?
Frozone.
Frozone, there you go. That's all I think about. I loved all of her stuff, though, like the CGI with the ice and them chasing her.
Yeah.
And I just really am impressed with Danielle Panabaker the last couple episodes.
Yeah, she continues to get better in their role because she wasn't great before. She was really chewing the scenery before, but she's a lot better now. And I appreciate that. Although I still hate that stupid voiceover thing that they do with...
What is that? Why do they do a double voice?
I don't know.
Same.
Make her sound more cold, I guess.
I still don't understand why she is automatically evil.
I was thinking about that. It's like, I guess maybe it's just a split personality kind of thing. I don't know.
Yeah,
that's how I excuse it. Because I can't remember if they explained it before. But it's always been like that whole, oh, well, if that version of me is evil, then of course I have to be evil too.
Right.
And it's like, that's not how it works, but okay. They started this episode out frustrating me because it starts out with one of those this many hours into the future or whatever.
Oh yeah, I know who you are.
And so yeah, it's like they just had to give us one more tease of I know who you are, but I'm not gonna tell you right now. It's like, screw you.
It's so stupid how he realizes it too.
Yeah, I did not like that at all.
He's just listening to everybody and suddenly starts to put it all together.
And I don't understand how at this point everyone around him doesn't recognize those looks of like, oh, nothing's going on. Everything's fine. I'll be back in a second.
Right.
And it's like, Wally, follow him.
And he has to leave in such a, I mean, I say in such a hurry, but he flashes out, I guess to say. Because if if it wasn't serious, he probably wouldn't have to flash out.
Well, I think he would anyways, but...
Yeah. It was just, it was stupid.
But I did like how he confronted Savitar and was like, I'm here now, and he was waiting.
So I didn't like that. So is that another future thing that Savitar knew at that point? He was going to come out into the middle of the street and yell, I'm here?
Because it's already happened before. For him, it's already happened. To Savitar, this is all happening again and again
stupid.
and again.
This is so stupid.
Anyways. So this episode started out with, but after that it started out with Joe and Cecile are training for their marathon. Joe wasn't sweating nearly enough.
No.
No one has energy to get all sexy after training for a marathon. Yeah.
Never mind.
Okay.
No, not gonna go there.
But Cecile drops the whole I love you thing on him. And I did not like Joe's reaction throughout the whole episode with this.
It's so
because
stupid.
he's with that character like Moira, who was above the CW tropes or whatever. Like their character doesn't do the whole I was protecting you by lying to you thing and all that crap. They are above that. And this for him was kind of like him falling into that.
Oh, Moira
into
Queen.
that trap. Yeah, Moira Queen. This is when he was kind of falling into that for some reason. It just didn't feel like his character.
It was, even I felt like it was out of character, and I'm still fairly new, and I don't I don't have a grasp on his character as much, but it was so... And then every scene just felt weird after that when he's talking about it. I'm like, this does not seem right. One, if you're dating someone as a superhero or part of Team Superhero, you know that this is going to come up at some point. So sorry to get all real life on you. If they're not the one that you're going to bring into your superhero life, then you need to cut them loose soon.
Yeah.
And it's that whole thing that the CW has been doing all along. That, you know, some type of event has to show me how much I actually do love you.
Yeah.
And it's always... It's so weird. Because with the...
You think Joe would be above that?
Again, yes.
But I did like how Barry's like... Because there's like that typical CW thing like, oh, you want to talk about it? And it's like, yeah, let's go off to ourselves and have a chat. And he's just like, you want to talk about it? And Joe's like, no.
Yep.
Just walks away. It's like, yes, thank you.
I did like Barry's scenes, though, and his lines about how, you know, you need to tell her about us, and he never argues it, or...
I like it, but I don't, because it's that whole thing where Barry just can't wait to tell someone he's the Flash.
Oh, yeah, he loves
It's just like, you should tell her. Like, you mean a total stranger, you should tell them. It's like, we don't even know them, Barry. Tell them.
I just recently realized that she is the, I'm assuming the ADA, the assistant, like the district attorney.
Yeah.
And she's dating a cop. That is such, what is the word? I used it a minute ago and now my brain's not working. Conflict of interest, thank you. Like, that's, it's not smart.
Yeah. I do appreciate, though, that we're getting more of them now. Because so far it's always been like in that last episode, they were talking about how Iris is like, you have to promise me, Barry, that if I'm gone, you have to make sure that Cecile and Joe stay together. And it's like, well, is she really that important? Because we never see her. Mm-hmm. So, but finally they're, you know, giving them more screen time, which I appreciate.
The actress did really well.
Yeah.
And when she realizes, or well, when he doesn't say I love you back, and I thought she did really well. And I like what they did with her character, that she wasn't like a blubbering mess. She was strong, because she's always been a strong character.
Yep. So now we get introduced to the character of Tracy Brand. Is it Brand?
I haven't figured out if it says Brand, Rand, or something.
It's either Brand or Brandt.
Yeah.
But we get introduced to her, Cutthroat Biatch from House. She's everywhere.
She is. We were just talking about Ann Dudek.
Ann Dudek.
She was on Covert Affairs, which we just found out we both used to watch.
If you're watching The Magicians, she's in that. Yeah. I don't know if they kill her character off, but I think they might have if she's here now.
And she's hilarious.
Yeah, and she does it so well, because like usually I either really love her, like in Covert Affairs, she was great as the sister. Mm-hmm. She's great in The Magicians, but in House, she was the worst.
Like, you want to kill her. Yeah. She's so annoying. But then, so is Wilson. Anyways.
I love Wilson. Wilson can do no wrong.
We always disagree.
Yeah. But we had that whole fight scene of them, like... I like how they didn't just come out and say, I'm the Flash, to her.
I was expecting that.
Yeah. It's like, she shows up afterwards in Star Labs, and it's like, oh, he's going to be standing there with his mask off. But he doesn't. Which I applaud. I mean, eventually she finds out, but...
Well, yeah.
I liked her and HR together. They have a great chemistry. I feel like she makes him less annoying.
Kinda. Yeah. But it's because I love her. Yeah, I love that actress.
I like the name of the coffee that they have that's off the menu, called a Zoom.
Oh, right?
Like, that made me laugh so hard. Like, maybe a little bit too hard when they said that. Because they named the coffee after a serial killer. Mm-hmm.
And what about how, don't they name the weapon in this episode? The machine?
No, that was the next one.
I thought they started it in this one, but okay, fine.
But I like the whole Cisco feeding him his lines. And later he's like, I'm not actually that smart.
I know, and then she's like falling for him because he's so smart, but...
Yeah.
At least he doesn't beat her in the bush, he tells her flat out.
Yeah.
But he has to be that smart. Anyways. I still think he just hides it.
I think so too.
But... I think he is. I don't like him. But I think he is still just as much of a genius as his other world versions.
I think it's just a different kind of smarts. He's not technical smart, but he's smart in other things.
Yeah.
But it's so weird that I started out hating him, like loathing his character. And just like James... I've come around to them, like...
I'm James on Supergirl.
Yeah, like, I actually really enjoy James. Like, this last episode, was totally thrilled about his being the central part of the episode. Anyways, but yeah, I really like HR now.
I like him more now. He's like Curtis for me. I don't hate him every time he speaks. Yeah. So, we'll see.
And somehow I'm over the jump sticks. I don't know when that happened. But
right? You just don't even care anymore.
Yeah, I guess I just let it go. He had a great line where he was trying to speak French. He's like, "Je suis smart." It's like, what? But I do like how her entire thesis or whatever, her dissertation is based off the Speed Force. I thought that was cool.
I still don't understand why, and I get fine, whatever. It's to build the relationship between she and HR, and it's all this other stuff, but idiot Barry in the future, instead of finding out her name, go and get her equation. Like, okay, this is how I did it. Here you go. Take it back with you. And then he goes to the current Tracy and is like, hey, do this. Boom. Fixed. She doesn't have to figure out how to make it.
Didn't Future Barry, though, say, all the data was lost or something?
Yeah, but it's still going to be in her brain. She still has to know at least how she figured it out. So, hey, I was struggling on this when I was trying to figure it out, so make sure you tell past self. Anyways.
But they couldn't find her in the future.
They didn't try.
Well, I think he said he talked about, how you can't find her and the data's lost or something like that. I know that they had a reason for it. So
I got distracted by his horrible voice and hair.
He sounds like kind of like I feel like I sound right now, like my nose is stuffed. But this leads into the Killer Frost showing up and doing her Iceman thing, which was cool, and Cisco not being able to
so good.
fight her. And
it was an issue for me at first because I thought it was bad editing / directing again of the whole he's standing here ready. He's like, so shoot her.
Yeah,
then it gets
I didn't like the whole flashbacks, happy Caitlin. It's like, we know what you're thinking about. We know which version that you miss or care about. We don't need the little flashbacks. But I did like her line where she takes out Barry. She's like, was it the left leg last time?
Right.
And then she shoots him. I thought that was really good. Let's see.
Julian and Cisco. This whole episode, how they were still pissed off at, Cisco's still pissed off at Julian, and he just disregards it entirely and keeps pushing, and finally calls him out on it. Why can't you take Caitlin down? And then Cisco explains that he is afraid of killing her. He's afraid that he won't be able to control his powers if he goes after her. Yeah. And it makes sense because they still think they can cure her.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a couple of those awkward moments where it's one person, there are two people are fighting, and another one of the people wants to make it right or whatever, and they're trying to be a little bit friendly and hey, what you doing? And that whole thing. So that was awkward, but I liked it because it was so.
It's very real. Cisco.
Yeah. There's a great Terminator reference with Tracy. She's like, I just learned that I was just told, you guys just told me that I was Sarah Connor. Everyone's like, nah, Miles Dyson.
Which is the guy who creates the arm, right?
Yeah, creates
the technology.
Yeah, Skynet.
See?
There's another good line where HR is talking about Tracy, and he's like, oh, I gave her a rousing speech. What'd you say to her last time you were with her? Well, I gave her a rousing speech and inspired her. So I'm so that's why she left. There's also another part where they're going through her life, trying to figure out where she went, because she runs away.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, this is really creepy.
Right.
And then someone said, I think Cisco said, this is really creepy.
I had the same thing. But it's HR who figures it out, right? He keeps seeing the same. Whatever. He's smart, but he's not smart.
It makes sense because it's this parallel of Aristotle and his role and how he felt about his role, I guess. And
again, they call it out on it. She says, "Oh, so I still visit the same place, huh?"
Yeah.
Or something like that.
So I guess is there anything you didn't like about this episode that bugged you?
Yeah. Barry Allen being Savitar.
Besides that.
That's pretty much the only thing I couldn't stand. Well, that and the trope. I know it's biased. I know I've said, you know, I liked that in the Sandverse that it was Maggie being shot that made her realize that she could overcome her fears to be with Alex and stuff. And I guess if it was just that and Joe and Cecile, I would be okay with it because their relationship is kind of like Sandverse, where I said, you know, it was drawn out and this or that. So Joe and, even though it was only all in the same episode, they've had a lasting relationship. But the fact that the CW in general, but these superhero shows continually use this stupid trope. They do it on Arrow, they did it on Supergirl twice, and then they did it on the Flash musical crossover with both Sandverse and Caramel and Caramel and West Allen, the ships. Like, it's just so annoying. So that's the one thing that it's just being overused now. It's losing its luster to me. And Barry Allen being Savitar. It's absolutely stupid.
Yeah. I do agree with you. Like, Joe breaking up with Cecile was like out of nowhere. Because it felt like he was going to go the other way with it. And he's like, we can't see each other anymore. So yeah, that bugged me too. I don't like Killer Frost's costume.
I like it. I like how they even new threads.
I don't.
Why not?
I think it looks dumb. I think it's a dumb looking costume.
You just think it's dumb. I like it.
Yeah, it just doesn't. I think
Wally's costume is dumb.
It's grown on me better. It's grown on me now. It's grown on me a bit. Maybe it's because I haven't seen him standing still for a little while. So
I've said it before, and I'll continue to say it. I still just think of a Teletubby.
But Vibe looks freaking awesome. He was whenever Cisco is
he
Vibe.
He needs a haircut.
No, I love it. I love it. Whenever he turns into Vibe, he puts on the Vibe persona, he is just amazing.
His goggles and his leather jacket.
He looks great. Like he has this whole commanding persona, and like he takes charge, and
he does. It is a different person for sure. Much more confident and real confidence, I should say. Because he exudes confidence, but a lot of times it's not real. Oh,
and he did something really cool. Like he realized he was going to get, because they find out that Caitlin knows everything that they're going to do. Because she had that really creepy moment where she was finishing all of his sentences.
Yes.
And, like, Cisco realizes that he's going to get knocked out, so he drops a portal underneath him and then lets himself get knocked over and falls into it. That was really cool.
Yeah, how did he realize Oh, because he looked up and saw the explosive device. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that was really cool that he saved himself that way. And that scene was kind of weird, because I thought... At first, I just thought she knew Barry so well that she knew that's what he was going to say.
Yeah, I was like, no.
But then I thought, there's no way you would know verbatim.
Yeah.
And then they explained it. So.
Although I did like the first time she's doing it, because I was like, oh, she knows him that well.
That's what I said.
Yeah, because it's like, man, it's such a stupid trope that it's like, oh, well, you're not alone, or you're part of our family.
Yep, I was thinking the same thing. Like, you are so predictable, Barry Allen, that she knows exactly what you're going to say.
And then they kept going, and I was like, this is a little unsettling. It wasn't really like an arrow inside the show, but it was like a prop error. One of the Savitar's straps, when they did a close-up of him, like it's like one of those elastic straps that you have on like your pads and stuff. One of those was poking
like my football pads?
Yeah. Yes, one of your football pads. I didn't even... Okay. Moving on.
I'm sorry. Specify, because I'm like, what are you talking about? So like a strap is what you're saying, just something like a...
It's one of those elastic straps like you have on shin guards and stuff.
There you go.
Yeah. Like one of those was poking out of his shoulder. I was
like, it out to me.
Wait a second. Is that part? Nope, that's just a strap. Just poking out.
Well, at least now we know it's a more practical costume.
Which I will excuse it for. I was going to be doing that.
Any other big points before we get on to the stupid reveal?
No. I think that's it.
So dumb. I do like the suit. I like the whole, like, the way he comes out of it and stands up. The acting, I think I've seen it twice now, because I went back and watched it when I was less angry. I was so angry when it was... you know what? It got spoiled for me, and I asked for it to be spoiled.
I actually went, because I watched it like a couple days after, and actually I was just like, I don't care enough, so I just looked it up.
Right, that's what I got to. So these last 2 weeks, I'm a softball coach, and it was the end of our season. It was insane. So I had a game almost every single night, and that means traveling. Anyways, one of my kids watches all of these shows and geeks out over it with me, and she is just so hard trying to find these videos, and she never will. Anyways, so we geeked out over it, and she's like, "Did you watch? They showed who Savitar is," and I was like, "Well, who is it?" She's like, "Coach, I don't want to tell you." I was like, "Just tell me. I'm over it. Who is it?" And she's like, "It's Future Barry." And I was like, "I'm done." And I just walked away, and she's like, "Can we talk?" I was like, "I don't want to talk about it anymore."
Yeah.
So we just stopped talking about it. I did get it spoiled. So I was still angry watching it, but I watched the whole episode just thinking, ugh. And then he starts putting that I am the future Flash and blah, blah, blah.
I still hate that.
It's so stupid.
It was based off of, is there a comma or is there not a comma?
Yes. Oh, it's so stupid. But when I watched it the second time, I was a little bit calmer, and I actually paid attention to it. And where we hated Future Barry with his emo voice and his emo hair,
yeah.
I think Grant Gustin is doing a phenomenal job. Because we'll get into it because I'm kind of mixing, because I've already seen next week's episode. I'm kind of mixing a little bit. But in that scene, I really felt like he did a great job of just being evil, and they show him all burn up, so maybe that's why he could kill Iris and turn evil, blah, blah, blah.
Barry.
No. Two-Faced Barry, yeah.
I wouldn't say phenomenal, but I would say vastly better than Future Barry. The Colt, so.
Yes.
So
we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Like I said, I enjoyed the part where he knew that, he knew wherever he was going to go, that Savitar knew he was going to be there, so I did like that aspect of it. Still not a fan of, just the suit in general, or just, the concept behind it, because it's just there to hide the character, just until they have the reveal of who it is. So,
is it there to hide the character, or are they going to give us a reason for why he's in the suit?
Well, no, they already give a reason, because it's they called it, I think called vulcanized Teflon or something.
Mm-hmm.
But basically the suit is just, it also explains why the DC movie Flash wears armor, because he moves so fast that it's unstable molecules or something,
mm-hmm.
and it's the only thing that can take the heat.
It's what type of metal?
Vulcanized Teflon or something?
Because I just hear Vulcan.
Yeah.
So they went to a different planet to get it?
No. Yeah, it does the same thought came to my mind too when I wrote it down.
So there's just a few episodes left, and I don't know, we'll see. It's gonna be, is the rest of the season literally just gonna be them trapping Savitar now? Or do you think they're going to kill Savitar?
I hope they kill him.
Me too.
Usually that's how it goes with these, because they find out, they reveal who the speedster is, and then the whole rest of the episode is them being toyed with, kind of like Prometheus and Arrow, and it really just kicks into high gear with the last couple episodes. So I'm hoping that this is the same thing here. But so far, Savitar is the worst villain so far of the 3 seasons.
Dragged out.
Yeah. Zoom and Reverse Flash were so much better. There's nothing terrifying about Savitar like there was with Zoom or Reverse Flash.
Did Kellen tell you about one of her kids dressing up as a villain?
No.
So one of our friends is a teacher, and she teaches a theater class, and they all had to come as a villain and do a monologue and try to get you on their side. And one of her kids went as the Reverse Flash.
Oh. Cool.
All right. Anything else?
That's it.
All right. Well, hey, I'm Shannon.
And I'm Jadon.
If you actually watch this, you know that by now.
Yeah. All 22 of you.
Yeah.
On average.
20. I think some of those views are us clicking on it.
I only do click it twice, so.
That's true. To click on it, then to share it, and then
yeah, it's usually between 20 and 30. So
YouTube, you and I need to have a conversation. You need to fix that. There's some technical things that you can fix. Anyways, we love these shows. Well, we love talking about these shows.
Yeah, I love these shows for the most part. It's sometimes they can really disappoint you. That's one because they're so great in the first place.
Yeah. But like, comment, and subscribe, and if you're watching this, you're going to see a flood on our channel and on our Tumblrs in the next 2 days because we're doing all of these videos together.
Yeah.
We got a little behind, so we're wearing the same outfits, so it's fine.
We are. No, I'm not.
Oh, you're going to change?
This was a week. Oh, yeah. I thought you were talking about from
No,
last
for like
week.
the next 5 episodes that we're posting.
Yeah.
Anyways, like, comment, subscribe. We'd love to hear from you. Tell us what you think. Argue with us or geek out. All the other shows that we mentioned and stuff, we're more than happy to geek out over. But thanks, and we will see you next time.
See you later.